This, welcome to today's session. As usual, on Sundays we meet and we have a discussion about health, how to live a longer, healthier life. And today we are discussing about diabetes, which is a disease that has indeed affected so many people. And today we are looking at how can we be able to manage it and how can we be able to sort it out. So we have a very exciting guest speaker who is going to talk to us. This is a very powerful leader in our company, and that is none other than Ngao. She's going to share with us, and then we'll get back and finish off the meeting. So without further ado, I just want to welcome Ngao. Ngao, karibu.
Asante sana, Fred. Wow, that was a wonderful introduction. Fred has been my friend for many years, almost 20 years since I got to know him. And we are very excited to work together. We have traveled together and we have been together for long. So our story is very long. So thanks so much, Fred, for giving me this opportunity to talk to the team here. And I believe whatever we are going to share is going to make a difference in somebody's life. So I will start by introducing myself. My name is Ngao. I'm married to Ngao Mangati. Together we are blessed with two young adults, now young people. When we started this opportunity or when we joined this company, these people were 7 years and 4 years, and now they are around 26, 27, 24. So we are now all adults and we have grown in new life, and it has been a wonderful journey. And because of time, I will not go into so much details. I can only say that why did I join? Why did I get started with New Life? I was working with a bank. I worked with a bank called Barclays Bank. Now it's ABSA. For around 17 years, I had been working with them. And we went through a process called conversion, where the system was being computerized. And I was one of the people that were included in that system. So immediately we finished the conversion, I lost my job. Let me say I lost my job through retrenchment. And it did not come to me at when I was ready. I wasn't prepared for that retrenchment plan. And that's how I met a friend of mine called Judy Njeru. We had been working together with Judy, and she invited me to have a look at this opportunity. And she encouraged me to be confident and just take a look. I didn't come trusting myself. I never knew I could do anything like this. But I thank God through training, through support, and through, learning from others, we have been able to succeed. I wanted only 10,000 shillings. We have made quite a number of, amount of money, which has also helped us to invest. We have traveled internationally, the thing that we had never did before. And our story is very long. We have made a difference in other people's lives through health and also helping them financially. And it has been a very exciting journey. So today is not my day for the story. Today we are here to discuss about one of the challenges that is affecting the world. And as you have, through the invitation, you already know that we are going to talk about diabetes, which has become a menace in the whole world, as we are going to see. So allow me to start sharing my screen as we share about this menace called diabetes. So there we are. We are talking about our health being our greatest wealth. And everybody knows that you have to take care of your health. We must all take care of our health. Reason being is that you can be so busy looking for wealth and riches and you lose your health. And what happens when you lose your health, you will convert all your wealth to recovering your health. So let's start by saying that your greatest wealth is your health. And that's why we are here to learn. And every time, at such a time, we come here, we come together, and we discuss something like what we are going to discuss today. So we have seen that health is our greatest wealth. And today, our main topic is on diabetes. Yeah. So what is diabetes? Diabetes is a chronic disease that occurs either when the pancreas does not produce insulin or when the body cannot effectively use the insulin it produces. Insulin is a hormone that regulates blood sugar, and it is called hyperglycemia. That's when you are experiencing such a challenge, or raised blood sugar. It's a common effect of uncontrolled diabetes, and over time leads to serious damage to many of the body systems, and especially the nerves and the blood vessels. Now, let's see, what is the foundation of diabetes? It starts at the plate, on your plate. You know that we are supposed to eat to live, but sometimes we eat to live, L-E-A-V-E. So how does the body translate the food that we eat? We eat food with carbohydrates, grains, fruit, milk, and sweets. The process, when it is now metabolized, it is converted into carbs that change to sugar, brackets glucose, and after digestion, this glucose enters into the bloodstream, yeah, and it is supposed to give us energy. The reason we eat is to get energy through the bloodstream, and then from the bloodstream, it goes, your pancreas is supposed to send that there is sugar in your body, and so it's supposed to generate what is called insulin. And then when insulin is generated, it helps the sugar get into the cells in your body so they can use the sugar as energy. So sugar is supposed to be used as fuel to give us energy. Now, let's look at various types of diabetes that we have. We have, the first one is called type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is the one that somebody is like an inborn. You are born with it, yeah? You are it. Sometimes we do not know why some people are born with this kind of a diabetes, but we realize that it is insulin dependent, yeah? It is insulin dependent. So it's like with type 1 diabetes, the patient has no control over it, but just to depend on the external insulin. The pancreas is not work, yeah? The pancreas do not work, so they must be prescribed insulin from external. So daily administration of insulin is needed for this person to actually survive. Then the second one is called type 2 diabetes, whereby it comes with either age or it comes with lifestyle, yeah? It can be brought about by body excess weight, and so this particular person can either control it through diet and exercise, but it is not insulin dependent. You can actually manage it away, but if it's to an extreme case, it actually becomes necessary for a patient to be given insulin. So it starts with the stomach, where the stomach turns food into glucose. And then the second thing, glucose enters the bloodstream. And then the third is the pancreas creates insulin, which enters the bloodstream. And then that is now glucose in the bloodstream. And then the fourth thing is that the cells of the body cannot take the glucose in thus causing a buildup in the bloodstream. So the cells are not able to sense the glucose in the bloodstream. So that causes now the person to start having excess glucose in the bloodstream, which becomes very, very dangerous. And that's why now when the doctor sees this kind of a person, they must do something to introduce the external insulin in order to remove the glucose from the blood. Now, there is another type of diabetes that is brought about by when somebody is expectant. Yeah, it is called gestational. The term is very complicated for some of us to pronounce, But this is diabetes that comes as a result of pregnancy. Yeah. Gestational diabetes is hyperglycemia with blood glucose values above normal but below those diagnostic of diabetes. It occurs during pregnancy, and women with gestational diabetes are at an increased risk of complications during pregnancy. That's why you find that they have to be under the monitor of doctors when they get pregnant. And these women and possibly their children are also at high risk of getting type 2 diabetes. So what happens? What happens when somebody is pregnant and has this kind of disease? The pancreas produces more insulin to cope with the excess sugar in the blood. So when the body senses that there is too much sugar in the blood, more insulin must be produced. And so kind of the pancreas gets overworked. So this is a type of where you can see there is a liver there. You can see the pancreas is down here. So it starts getting overworked. And once the insulin does not cross the placenta, but the glucose does giving the baby high blood glucose, the extra energy from the glucose becomes fat. Yeah. So some people wonder why they don't eat, but they are becoming fat. Now, I want to tell you that when there is too much glucose in the blood, it is converted into fat, and sometimes resulting into a big baby. So you find some people, the doctors tell them that your baby is so big. It could be because maybe when you had too much sugar in the body, some of it became fat and it affected the baby you are carrying. Then the baby's pancreas will produce insulin to counter this. Now you see the baby now starts actually getting the complication just like the grown-ups, and excess insulin raises the baby's risk of being close or diabetic in the future. So some of these things that happen, they happen at the pregnancy level. So a mother should be very, very careful on what they eat when they are expecting, and more so to be in check with the doctor so that they don't end up being diabetic and also affecting the fetus that they are carrying. This is what is happening all over the world. Many people in the world are at high risk of contracting diabetes. Yeah, 422 million adults are diabetic. Can you imagine that figure is so big? Yeah, that is type 1 persons in 2. 1 person in 11. You can see 11 people here. 1 person out of 11 has diabetes. Yeah. So there is type 1 diabetes. Body does not produce enough insulin. So that means you have to keep injecting yourself with insulin. Then there is type 2 diabetes where the body produces insulin, but they can't use it well. Maybe, you know, the little insulin that is produced is not used well. And then there is the expectancy, the gestational diabetes, which is found in the pregnant mothers. And we are saying that there are consequences. What happens when somebody is discovered to be having diabetes? They stand a risk of having stroke. They can become blind. They can get heart attack. They can also have kidney failures. And there are some people's legs have actually been amputated because circulation becomes a problem. When the blood is not able to flow into the whole body, part of the body starts dying. And so the doctor says that they should be amputated. And that becomes very, very, very complicated. And other complications that are brought about by being diabetic, one, well, let's look at the causes. What are the causes actually? Sometimes it is a lifestyle cause. And you can see here the way we eat, yeah? Sometimes our diet, the choices we make can contribute to being diabetic. Another cause of being diabetic can be genetic, like you are born with it. It runs in your family. So you are a carrier. And anytime when you are a carrier and maybe you start eating wrongly, you actually end up being diabetic. Another thing that can cause diabetes is certain medication. You know, sometimes when we are sick, we go and the doctor prescribes some medication that may actually affect maybe our pancreas or causes some complication in our body. And so the body doesn't operate properly. That can also be a cause of diabetes. Another thing is that you could be working in a stressful environment. And I would say that we are a victim of such in our family. But yes, these days there's a lot of stress in the environment. Some people, it's out of the place where they work. Sometimes it's normal life stress. So you should be able to manage stress, or it can end up affecting you and you become diabetic. Another thing is you do not sleep well. Poor sleeping habits. You are always working, you are working 24/7, you don't give your body time to rest. It can also you can end up being diabetic. And another thing is that hormonal imbalance. You know, our bodies are controlled by hormones. And sometimes when your hormones are not functioning well, sometimes the thyroid is not functioning well, other organs are not functioning well, you can end up being diabetic. And what are the consequences of people or the risks that will come as a result of being diabetic? One, you can have a heart disease. Actually, there is a correlation between diabetes and blood pressure. So you can end up having a heart disease because of being diabetic. Another thing you can incur is that you can actually become dependent of the insulin. So every day you must do a check and get to know how you are doing. Another thing that can be affected, as we saw, is the kidney. The kidneys can fail. If you don't manage your sugar levels properly, you can end up having a problem with the kidneys, which becomes another complication. Another thing is that you can also have a liver challenge. Yeah, your liver you can develop liver complications like liver cancer, and it becomes another problem. So what I'm saying is that diabetes is a serious disease and it affects maybe the whole system. You can also end up with cancer. Yeah, you can actually end up with cancer because when the body is not functioning well, your digestive system is not functioning well, your metabolism is not functioning well, you can end up with cancer, and you can also end up with brain damage, and many other things can actually go wrong. So what are we supposed to do? Yeah, because now there's so much high risk, and if we don't take care of ourselves, we might just end up in this category. So we must be cautious about what we are doing with ourselves. Like, for example, these are other things that can actually be affected by somebody who is suffering from diabetes. Some people become blind. Yeah, some people actually become blind. It can be caused by high glucose levels in the blood. Then others have renal failure. We have mentioned about that. Some people, the circulation, they develop a wound that is incurable. And we have talked about the brain, yeah, and you can end up with stroke. Then your heart can be damaged because now there's too much sugar and you're working your heart. And the nerves are not performing properly. You realize that people with diabetes end up with nerve challenges. And there are so many other causes, yeah? So when you start realizing that your body is not functioning well, the first thing you need to do is to go for a checkup. You need to find out from the doctor, I'm feeling like this, I'm not feeling myself. What could be the problem? Yeah. Don't wait until it is too late. I remember my husband, who is listening to me, once upon a time, he fell in the kitchen and we did not know what to do with him. We did not know that he was actually diabetic. He was just living a normal life. But what I realized that he was craving for something like the Fanta. He's here and he can testify. So every day he will go and get a Fanta. The body was speaking to him that there's something is very wrong somewhere. but he was not listening to the body. So what I will encourage all of us is to listen to the body. When you start having funny cravings, you need to find out, why is my body asking for more sugar? Why is my body asking, maybe, why am I feeling so hungry? Why am I sweating? Those are the things that one experiences. Why am I feeling like my body is not in control? Once you start hearing such symptoms and you start feeling such things, don't wait until it is too late. My husband went to the doctor for a checkup and he was told he was 32. Isn't it, Ngao? He was 32. And a person who is 32, I tell you, is supposed to be admitted. So the doctors were wondering, how did you arrive here? You know, he was being asked by the doctor, how did you arrive here? And he tells me, what may have happened is that because we know we take some supplements, the body was strong enough to withstand some of this pressure, but he was able to be assisted and now he lives a normal life. So now when the World Health Organization realized that there's trouble, they had to sit down and find out, what do we do? Many people, many millions of people are having a challenge of diabetes. Now we are actually losing a lot of people through this menace. Then we need to provide a solution. So the World Health Organization came up and said, we must train people on what we need to do about our health. So what you can see in front of you is the way, the pillars of good health, yeah? The pillars of good health, one, we need to exercise. At least 15 to 20 minutes of very good exercise is good for your body. Another thing you need to do, because sometimes our overweight can actually result into diabetes, you need to keep checking your BMI, body mass index. How many kilos are you carrying? Could you be having excess weight? You need to check on that. Another thing you need to do is to invest in exercise. Many people do not exercise. You need to exercise. Exercise, I've talked about exercise. The next pillar is resting. Yeah, we realize in this time we are living, rest. We are encouraged that if you need your body to function well and to be productive, you need to sleep 6 to 8 hours daily. Take a moment and unwind. Are you taking time to go on holiday? Or when if you are working and or you are on holiday, you even continue working. You need to take time to unwind. Let your body rejuvenate itself. Another thing you need to do is to check on your diet. How are you eating? What choices are you making? Yeah, I've told you about my spouse who used to love a lot of sodas, and especially the red Fanta, the orange Fanta. And you know that has a lot of sugar. Actually, sugar, soda is a very big complication when it comes to diabetes. So what choices of food are you making? Are you a person who likes just feeling good, or are you making the right choices? Because if you eat wrongly, it will end up affecting your health. I've talked about BMI. We should all check our BMI, and this is the index where you are supposed to be. When your BMI index is 18 or below 18.5, you are underweight, and also being underweight is also a high risk. Every one of us who is supposed to be healthy is supposed to be operating between 8.5 to 24.9. That's a normal weight, very healthy. Once you are operating in this category, actually you'll find yourself, your brain is thinking well, your body is functioning well, you are in control. And then you can move, you can find that some of us have moved, and when you are changing, the change comes very fast. You realize you are at 25.2 to 29. This is being overweight. And sometimes there is a thin line between being normal and being overweight. But the more you check, you'll actually be taking good care of yourself. And now some people like myself, before I joined New Life, I was in this category. Obesity. Obesity is a killer. I used to feel my joints couldn't carry me. My heart palpitation was going up. And you know, it was a serious issue. Until I lost 10 kilos is when I started feeling better. I started feeling like myself. Now, being overweight is a risk. It's a high risk of contracting diabetes. And morbid obesity, you actually need help. So how do you calculate your BMI? You just need to know your weight in kgs, in kilos, and over height in meters squared. So anybody here and everybody should be able to know how they can check their BMI. Now, once you know your BMI, you need to know how to eat. You need to learn good eating habits. When I was working in the bank, I didn't have good choices of eating. And that's why I was almost getting into trouble with my health. So we are supposed to eat 40% of our diet should be whole grains. Yeah, 40% of our diet should be whole grains. And the whole grains is the food when you put on the plate. For example, kideri, mahindi, ugali, you know, yamtama. You can easily identify and know that this is grains. So you need to eat unrefined whole grain, 40% of your diet. Because whole grains give us essential oils that your body needs for normal functioning. Then you are supposed to protect or to give yourself immunity by eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. At least 30% of your diet should be fruits and vegetables and different colors, the rainbow colors. You need to eat 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis to be safe, especially in this environment that we are living in, that is full of toxins. The food we are planting with fertilizers, the food has preservatives, there is polluted air, we cook with aluminum sufurias. So fruits and vegetables is something that we cannot do without, because this is how you will detoxify your body, you will get rid of toxins, and you'll be able to fight the challenges that are in the air. Another thing we need to do is to make sure that we are eating enough proteins, but the correct proteins. And these proteins, consider using or eating white meat, especially fish and chicken, and animal or plant proteins, and reduce on red meat. We must reduce on red meat. Proteins are important because they are building blocks. When we are growing, we need a lot of proteins, but when we are mature and adults, we need little and minimal proteins. And fats and sugars are supposed to be on a very, very minimum, because everything we eat gives us sugar. Everything that we are eating down here has sugar. So we need to minimize on fats and sugars. Unfortunately, this is what majority of us have done. The research has shown that 75% intentionally eat the wrong food. 95% actually have been overcome and they are suffering because of wrong choices. So what can we do when the whole is there hope? Or are we going to watch people die? Now, new life, these are the choices you can see there, and many of us are victims and is loving it. And even me, I will love it. There's a place that we love this kind of choices. When you go out there, you want to take your family out, obviously you are not going to tell them that I brought you here to eat kideri. You will tell them that I enjoy to the maximum, and you can see the lady down there is enjoying to the maximum. Now those are the kind of food that many of us are eating. So there is trouble. We have overturned the pyramid upside down. Instead of eating like this, we are eating like that. And so there is a gap. Can this gap be filled? Because we do not fill the gap, it will cause cracks in our body, and those cracks that are the causes of all the diseases that we have. So we have to take care of this gap. This question mark must be answered. Now, Neolife comes in and say, yes, we have been eating the upside down. These people are the scientific advisory board. They are doctors, nutritionists, and we have this gentleman, now is late, Dr. Arthur Fast. He sat down, he's a toxicologist, the man who discovered cure for cancer. He sat down and said, can we come together and find a solution? Can we come together, do a research, find us the causes of this, why people are dying early with that. Let's find out if there is something we can do. And they realized that all these are called lifestyle diseases. And these lifestyle diseases can only be answered by a lifestyle change. And because of that, they came up with a solution through what we call natural supplementation. When it comes to natural supplementation, it means that where you have been eating little whole grain and your body is expecting you to give it, you are expected to give it 40% and maybe you are giving it 30%, you are supposed to supplement with a product called TNN, because the gap of 30% is actually needed for your body to function properly. When it comes to exercise and physical activity, make a choice that you'll be exercising and you'll check your weight. When it comes to fruits and vegetables, you are supposed to eat at least 30% so that your body is strong enough to fight. You are giving it maybe 20%. The difference must be covered by a supplement. And in your life, we have a product called carotenoid complex. When it comes to protein, we like red meat. And red meat is not good because it has some side effects. It has uric acid. That's why many people are having challenges with the arthritis and such. The company comes up and says, we are not eating enough fish, let's supplement with omega-3. And then we do not get enough minerals and vitamins, we supplement with a product called Multi, which gives us 23 different minerals and vitamins. Now, let's see. This is how what we get in the packet of Pro Vitality. We get the TNN, which is here, which helps to open up your cell membrane so that the nutrients can get in and the waste can get out. When we are not able to eat the whole grains and we are not supplementing, you end up with a sick cell, and a sick cell causes sicknesses. So TNN comes in and sorts out the cell membrane, and it makes it soft and permeable to allow the nutrients to get in and the waste to get out. Now we need to protect ourselves, to protect our bodies against toxins and influences. We come and get a carotenoid complex that is patented. It was developed from 600 different colors of fruits and vegetables. When you use it, you boost your immunity by 37%. It means that even in this COVID season, you can trust carotenoid complex to protect you against the environmental challenges. Another product that is in the pack is omega-3, which is good for your brain. We realize that people who are suffering from diabetes can suffer from brain damages, can have heart-related diseases. So you need omega-3 to take care of all those organs that we have seen. And also, we need multivitamins so that our digestion is effective. We have other products that we need in addition to Pro Vitality. We need fiber tablets. And these are kind of supplements that never lack in my house because of the situation that I've talked about. And fiber tablets are very good because they are going to sweep the glucose and the sugar out of your bloodstream. It's a wonderful product, and it can also be used as weight management. It contributes to a pleasant feeling of fullness, and so you eat less. Yeah. And another product that is new in the market is CoQ10, that is very good for your heart. It can also help you in the treatment of cancer. So those are the products that we have. You can imagine that the research is saying that 4 tablets of another product called Botanical Balance can help you get out of the 463 million people suffering from diabetes. So what we need to do, because we never know when we are going to be told by the doctor that we are having diabetes, we need to make sure that we protect ourselves by eating healthy, exercising, and supplementing. So botanical balance is a must for all of us. It is a wonderful product. I used it. It can help you, manage your weight. It will control your sugar, and it is a wonderful product. And you can see it comes from curcumin, it comes from cassia, cinnamon, so our supplements are natural food supplements. So those are the products. And we have also for the people who are overweight, and also not just those who are overweight, we all need protein, the right protein to rebuild our muscles, to rebuild our bodies. Neolife has Neolife Shake, very, very good for people with diabetes because they start wearing out their muscles. And the other day, actually, the company introduced the magnesium, which is a wonderful product for muscles. And what I realized I will call my husband to give his own personal testimony. You realize that sometimes they suffer from muscle complications. And this kind of products can actually save them from that kind of challenge. Then we have Neolife Tea. People who are diabetic, they suffer from low energy. So when you have Neolife Tea, it can help increase the energy levels and the person can feel very, very well. So I want to end the sharing as I invite Mr. Ngao, who will share maybe a small testimony as he invites Fred to take over the remaining part of the session. Thanks so much for listening to me. Mr. Ngao, I give you 5 minutes to give us your short testimony.
Okay.
Let's welcome Mr. Ngao.
Good evening. I hope you're well. My name is Ngao Mangati, Anne's husband. I call her Dr. Ngao. I've just been told to give a short testimony, so I'll do exactly that. About 10 years ago, while I was still in Barclays, I got a very interesting situation, and that situation was all the time I would be thirsty. I would be taking water throughout, and I'll also be, going to the loo short calls, urinating throughout. So I would actually overnight go about. Initially, never used to go wake up to go and go job, but then it got to a point where I would go about 5 to 6 times a night. So then I remembered one time a guy had mentioned about, 5 years earlier that that's what he felt when he became diabetic. So one time when I was leaving the office, I was with Anne. I told her, let's pass by a Metropolitan. I do a check. So I drove there. I went and explained my situation. Anne was still waiting for me. And then I was given quite a number of tests. There were quite a number. They did about 6 or so. And then the doctor told me it would take about 2 hours. I remember very well it was around 9 p.m. Now, we don't live very far from Metropolitan Hospital. So I said, fine, if it's taking 2 hours, watch and Nikule and Nirudi. So I drove home to Akula, chapa kaugali vizuri. Then I told Anne, because I'm fine, I don't have to go with Lala. So I drove back. It's about 2 minutes drive. It'll go siku, so I needed to drive. Anyway, to me, it wasn't necessary to be walking when I had a car. So I drove back and I found the doctor. They were ready because I got there together. And the lab lady who was checking my results told me, wewe utoki hapa leo. And I told her, you're joking. She told me utoki hapa. So I sat with the doctor and he told me the numbers were about 27. And the normal ones were supposed to be below 10. He told me, I'm admitting you. I told him, no, you're not admitting me because I'm very okay. And he was very serious. He told me, you can't leave this place and you have to leave. You have to sign someone saying that you refuse to be admitted. I didn't know it was so serious. So I was put on some drip and some solution which was being put to connected intravenously to my body. I think they were trying to dilute to reduce the sugar. And they put in about 4 bottles. So they checked my sugar again, and it had gone to, it has jumped from 27 to 30. The doctor got confused. They put in again 2 more bottles. They checked again, it went to 32. And now at that point is when he told me I'm admitting you. No, give me 2 more. They gave me 2 more. Then they checked and it was 14. That was 4 a.m. That is when I was released to go home. And then I was given some drugs. There were about 4 types. Then I was told to go the following day to see a nutritionist. So I went the following day. I found a lady who told me how I would be eating. I was given a plate, and I was told half of it should be a quarter should be carbohydrates, and the others are fruits and protein. But the reason why, when they checked the second time, the sugar had gone up is because, remember when I came on, tuanga ka ugali vizuri, I had taken a lot of ugali. So then it was a culture shock, because now I had to move from eating a lot of ugali to very little. And for the first time in my working life, I was given 1 week leave. That is when it hit me. It was a serious story. So I started living with diabetes. Well, eventually I saw another doctor who changed the 4 drugs combined to 1. And that was in 2010. But once in a while now, the issue of hyper and hypo came in. I didn't know. So sometimes I would come in the evening. One day I came and I was given supper, and I said I was okay. In the middle of the night, I woke up feeling funny, and I went to the loo, sat in the kitchen. Fortunately, I woke up, and then I collapsed. I just woke up again, and I found out screaming. I'd actually lost a lot of milk and put a lot of sugar. Kroger, Nikapewa, then I was rushed again to Metropolitan, and they sorted me out, and then I learned how to manage it. Then now seriously, because I wasn't taking the supplementation, so we will take once in a while. I started now taking fiber in the morning. Then eventually, I started following the diets and started my weight also, again, I had a big tummy. My BMI was over 30. Over 30 is obese, because I was 80 kgs plus, and with my height of 5'3", I was looking like a computer. So then I started slowly also doing a bit of exercise here and there. I've managed that well. I still take 1 tablet since 2010. 1 tablet I don't take. Quite of the number of guys who are diagnosed with me, all of them have gone to insulin, and quite a number of them regrettably have left us. So I manage it, vitamin B complex for muscles, take botanical. One of the things which don't lack here is fiber, because that one really helps, because it makes the stomach full, so I take less food. And as a result of taking a lot of supplements, I also take omega-3, also that doesn't, because of my brain. I put yapa. I'm able even to do what we call intermittent fasting. Sometimes I can take food at 4 and take the following day, do 16 hours before I eat. That is very good at sugar. But the reason why that I can do that, because for a diabetic, somebody who's diabetic, they're told take some little food in the morning, take at 10, a snack, take food that's what the doctor tells us. Take something small in the morning, take at 10 something small. Eat lunch, also something small. Take another one at 4, something small. Then you take in the evening. And at 9 p.m. we also take. That's how it's supposed to be. Kidogo, but several times. As a result of the supplements, I'm able to take 3 square meals. Sometimes I can take 2 and I will not feel, I don't collapse, I don't feel a thing. So the hypo has gone. Now also the intermittent fasting and exercises. I'm in the process of reversing totally, dealing away with diabetes. But thank you so much to the supplement, to the product which we take. Because if I wasn't taking them, I would not even miss 2 meals. I would collapse because the sugar would go hypo. So right now I can eat. I don't have to take anything at 10. I don't have to take anything at 3. I don't take anything at 9 p.m. And once in a while, I do that fasting for 16 hours, and I'm good enough. thanks to New Life products. I feel okay. I'm also in the process of using the supplementation, also reduce my weight right now is 68, my focus 63. 63 I'll be at normal. Right? I moved from obesity to overweight. I just have 3 kgs to get to the level of normal. In the process of also reducing the tummy level, exercises, supplementation, and eating well. So that is my story. And I talk about it to quite a number of people who claim they're diabetic and who are having a lot of pains. I've never taken any insulin. Since 2010, the same tablet I've been taking, one tablet, Diamicron 60 mg, is what I take to date. My sugar levels are good. Thank you very much. Now over to Gichuki. I wish you the best and tell your people, because there are quite a number of people who are suffering. My mother is also diabetic, so she's also taking supplementation, and her sugar levels are equally good. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of a good week starting tomorrow. Gichuki, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Ngao Mangati. Sorry for ambushing you. I know we just ambushed you. He happened to be in the house, and we just requested him to give his story. And thank you so much, Bwana Mangati. And thank you so much, Mrs. Ngao. That was amazing. And Ngao, I think the two of you have really done us proud. That was excellent, excellent teamwork, Ngao and Ngao Mangati. And truly, you have shared your life story. You have let us into your life and given us a story of what you have gone through and how the products have been able to make us a significant difference in your life. If you meet Mr. Mangati, you never know that he has never had any such disease or condition. The other day we were playing football with him somewhere, and he was doing very, very well. In fact, we could not score because of him. He was playing defense, and he did a very, very good job. Then afterwards, he's telling us, "But then, I'm usually diabetic," and you're like, "Oh, okay, you are." So it's amazing. It's amazing. So guys, there you have it. Our products are fantastic. The New Life opportunity is awesome. For the guests who are here on the call, I want to encourage you to make a decision. The decision is either join Neolife and become a distributor, start buying products for yourself, and start changing people's lives, or become a customer. Becoming a customer means just buying products from the person who has invited you. Whichever the decision you make, it's okay. But for us, we always like growing our family. We always like getting in new people. And you find that when you join and you become a member, then it means you'll be accessing the products at a wholesale price. So you can also join us in the journey to make a positive difference in people's lives by touching and sharing this information with as many people as we can. So for me, I joined Your Life for money, and I came in because I was looking for money. But the first benefit I got was in terms of health, because my parents were suffering. My dad had ulcers, my mom had high blood pressure. Both were sorted out by these products. And I got confidence to now go and share this opportunity with as many people as possible. Ended up building a huge business. And as Anne Ngao has shared, we have traveled with them extensively, America, South Africa, UK, so many places, courtesy of Neolife. And that's why I always say Neolife is a total value opportunity. So without further ado, I want to welcome all of you on board. For the guests, talk to the person who invited you, decide what you want. Decide whether you want to buy the products or you want to join and become a distributor, and we go out to make a positive difference in people's lives. Otherwise, thank you so much. See you again next Sunday when we'll be having a different topic on health. And make sure you invite a friend or two along next Sunday so that they can also benefit from this information. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant afternoon. We'll be having a recording of this session later in the evening. So talk to the person who invited you to share it with you. Thank you so much and good night.